If you were born between the 1940s and the 1970s and received Social Security, don't assume your July payment will look exactly like last month's. This month, millions of retirees are noticing something different. For some, it's the day their payment arrives. For others, it's the amount that reaches their bank account. And for a surprising number of seniors, it's something hidden inside their Social Security record that they've never checked before. Now, here's the good news. For most people, this does not mean your benefits have been reduced. But it does mean this is one of those months when taking just a few minutes to verify your payment can save you a lot of unnecessary stress. Take Margaret from Columbus, Ohio. She opened her bank account one morning expecting to see her usual Social Security deposit. When it wasn't there, she immediately thought the Social Security Administration had reduced her benefit. She was wrong. Her payment hadn't been cut at all. She simply didn't know how this month's payment schedule worked. And Margaret isn't alone. Thousands of retirees make that same assumption every year. So today, I want to help you avoid that mistake. Here's exactly what we'll cover. What actually changed with July Social Security payments? Which retirees are most likely to notice those changes? Why your bank deposit may look different even when your benefit hasn't changed? The one Social Security record many seniors never think to check. And 5 simple things you should do before worrying that something is wrong. Let's start with the biggest misunderstanding. When people hear that the Social Security Administration changed July payments, many immediately think their monthly benefit has been reduced. For most retirees, that's not what's happening. What's changing is how many seniors are experiencing this month's payment. Some deposits arrive on a different day because of the payment calendar. Others look different because of deductions that happen before the money reaches the bank. And some retirees discover information about their Social Security record that they've never looked at before. The important thing to remember is this: a payment that looks different isn't always a payment that's wrong. Let's go back to Margaret. Like thousands of other retirees, she looked only at her bank account. She never compared it with her official Social Security records. After signing into her My Social Security account, she quickly discovered that her monthly retirement benefit hadn't changed at all. The difference came from the way her payment was processed and scheduled. That simple check saved her hours of unnecessary worry. And that's the first lesson I want every retiree to remember. Your bank account only tells you what was deposited. It doesn't tell you why. Your official Social Security account tells the complete story. That's why, before assuming something is wrong with your July payment, take a few minutes to sign in to your My Social Security account. Review your payment history. Compare your monthly benefit. Look for any notices attached to your account. In many cases, you'll find the answer in just a few minutes, without spending hours trying to reach someone by phone. But here's where things become even more interesting. Most retirees think the payment goes directly from the Social Security Administration to their bank. It doesn't. There's another step behind the scenes that almost nobody talks about, and understanding that process could explain why some July payments don't appear exactly when retirees expect them. Let's look at how that works. Most retirees assume that once the Social Security Administration approves their monthly payment, the money goes straight into their bank account. But that's not actually how the process works. After the Social Security Administration authorizes your payment, it moves through the United States Treasury's payment system before it's sent to your financial institution. Only after your bank receives that payment does it post the deposit to your account. Most months, this entire process happens so smoothly that you never notice it did. But when something changes, like updating your direct deposit information, switching banks, changing the type of account your payment goes into, or even correcting personal information already on file, that processing chain can take longer than many retirees expect. That doesn't necessarily mean your money has been lost. It often means your payment is moving through additional verification before it's released to your account. Frank, a 72-year-old retiree from Mesa, Arizona, learned this the hard way. After moving closer to his daughter, Frank opened a new checking account and updated his direct deposit information with the Social Security Administration. Everything appeared to be completed successfully, so he expected his July payment to arrive exactly as it always had. When his usual deposit didn't appear that morning, he immediately feared the worst. He worried his benefits had been suspended. He considered calling the Social Security Administration before the phone lines became busy. Fortunately, his payment wasn't missing at all. Because his banking information had recently changed, the payment required additional verification before his financial institution posted the deposit. A short time later, the money appeared exactly as expected. For retirees living on a fixed income, even a brief delay can feel overwhelming. Mortgage payments, rent, utilities, insurance premiums, and prescription costs don't wait simply because you're waiting for a deposit. That quotes why understanding the payment process matters. One important point many seniors never hear is this: the day the Social Security Administration releases your payment isn't always the exact day your bank makes those funds available. Different financial institutions have slightly different posting procedures. Some credit deposits immediately after receiving them. Others complete additional overnight processing before the funds appear in your account. In most cases, that difference is measured in hours, not weeks. But if you've never experienced it before, it can feel like something has gone terribly wrong. Before assuming your July payment has disappeared, take 3 simple steps. First, sign into your My Social Security account and confirm that your payment was issued. Second, verify that your direct deposit information is still correct. Third, if your payment has been released but hasn't appeared in your account, contact your bank before assuming the Social Security Administration made an error. Sometimes the payment is already there, but still moving through the bank's posting process. I'd like to hear from you. Have you already received your July Social Security payment? Did it arrive exactly when you expected, or did you notice anything different this month? Share your experience in the comments. Your story could help another retiree understand what they're seeing with their own payment dot. But even payment timing isn't the biggest surprise waiting inside many Social Security accounts. They're quotes, another record the Social Security Administration uses that most retirees rarely think about after they stop working. If that record contains mistakes from years or even decades ago, it can affect the benefit you've been receiving all along. And that's the hidden issue we'll look at next. If you've stayed with me this far, this may be the most important thing you'll hear today. Most retirees believe that once they start receiving Social Security, their monthly benefit is set for life. Unless Congress changes the law or a new cost of living adjustment takes effect, they assume nothing else can affect it. But that's not entirely true. Every Social Security retirement benefit is built on something called your earnings record. Think of it as your lifetime work history. Every year you worked, every paycheck that was reported, and every dollar you paid into Social Security becomes part of that record. And here's the surprising part. If that record contains mistakes, your monthly benefit may not accurately reflect the work you spent decades doing. Now, that doesn't mean mistakes are common, and it certainly doesn't mean everyone has one. But many retirees have never looked, so they simply don't know. Let me tell you about Linda. Linda is a retired bookkeeper from Tampa, Florida. One afternoon, she was helping her grandson create his own My Social Security account. Out of curiosity, she decided to look through her own earnings history. Everything looked normal until she reached 1 year in the late 1970s. According to her Social Security record, she had earned almost nothing that year. She immediately knew something wasn't right. She had worked full-time, she remembered the job clearly, and she still had copies of old tax documents stored away. So she contacted the Social Security Administration. She provided the records she still had. After reviewing the information, the agency corrected the earnings record. For Linda, the increase wasn't dramatic, but that wasn't the most important part. The most important part was knowing her benefit was finally based on the work she had actually performed. Now, your situation may be completely different. Many retirees will review their earnings history and everything will be correct. That's actually good news because it gives you confidence that your benefit was calculated properly. But here's the question. How would you know if you've never looked? That's why checking your earnings record is one of the smartest things any retiree can do. It only takes a few minutes. Sign into your My Social Security account. Open your earnings history. Scroll through it 1 year at a time. If you notice a year showing 0 earnings, even though you were working, don't ignore it. If you see wages that seem much lower than you remember, take another look. If you still have old tax returns, W-2 forms, or payroll records, keep them together. Those documents can help if the Social Security Administration needs to review your earnings history. And even if you don't find a single mistake, you'll gain something just as valuable: peace of mind, because you'll know your monthly retirement benefit is based on an accurate record of the years you spent working. If this video has helped you understand your Social Security benefits a little better, I'd really appreciate you taking a moment to subscribe. Every week, we explain Social Security, Medicare, retirement benefits, and government updates using clear, simple language. No confusing legal terms, no unnecessary panic, just practical information that helps you protect your retirement. Now, there's one final piece of this puzzle. Even if your payment was sent on time, even if your earnings record is completely accurate, your bank deposit can still look different. Before you assume something is wrong, there are 3 simple things every retiree should check first. Let's go through those together. By now, you've probably realized something important. A July Social Security payment that looks different doesn't automatically mean something is wrong. In fact, most payment concerns have a simple explanation. The key is knowing what to check before assuming your benefits have been reduced. So before you pick up the phone, before you spend hours worrying, here are 3 simple things every retiree should verify first. First, confirm your official benefit amount. Many retirees compare this month's bank deposit with last month's deposit, but they never compare either one with what the Social Security Administration actually says they were paid. That's a mistake. Your My Social Security account shows your official monthly benefit, your payment history, and any notices connected to your account. If those records match, you've already answered one of the biggest questions. Second, review any deductions that came out before the money reached your bank account. This surprises many retirees. The amount deposited into your checking account isn't always your full Social Security benefit. For some people, Medicare Part B premiums are deducted automatically. Others choose to have federal taxes withheld. Some retirees have other authorized deductions that reduce the final deposit. So even if your monthly benefit never changed, the amount reaching your bank account might. That's why it's so important to compare your official benefit with your actual deposit. They're not always the same number. Third, double-check your banking information. If you've recently switched banks, opened a new account, updated your direct deposit, or changed personal information connected to your account, make sure everything was processed correctly. A small mistake can create a very big headache. Let me give you one more example. Robert is a retired mechanic from San Antonio, Texas. Earlier this year, Robert changed banks. Everything seemed fine. But when his July payment didn't appear, he immediately feared his Social Security benefits had been interrupted. Instead of assuming the worst, he signed into his My Social Security account. He confirmed that his payment had already been issued. Then he contacted his bank. That's when he discovered the real problem. One digit in his updated banking information had delayed the posting process. Once it was corrected, his payment arrived normally. Robert's story reminds us of something every retiree should remember. Most July payment concerns aren't caused by a reduction in benefits. They're caused by misunderstanding how the payment reaches your account, or by overlooking information that's already available. That's why spending just a few minutes reviewing your records today can save you days of unnecessary stress later. If you've checked your payment history, reviewed your deductions, confirmed your banking information, and something still doesn't look right, don't guess. Contact the Social Security Administration directly. Explain what you've already reviewed. Ask them to look at your account. You'll have a much easier conversation because you've already gathered the information they'll probably ask for. Remember, the goal isn't simply to receive your Social Security payment. The goal is to understand it. Because when you understand how the system works, unexpected deposits become much less stressful and much easier to resolve. Before we finish, let's quickly review the 5 most important things from today's video. First, a July Social Security payment that looks different doesn't automatically mean your benefits have been reduced. Second, always compare your bank deposit with the information inside your My Social Security account before assuming something is wrong. Third, remember that payment schedules, bank processing, and authorized deductions can all affect when your money arrives or how much reaches your account. Fourth, take a few minutes to review your Social Security earnings record because it's the foundation of the retirement benefit you've earned over a lifetime of work. And fifth, if something still doesn't look right after checking your payment history, your deductions, and your banking information, contact the Social Security Administration directly and ask them to review your account. The more you understand how your Social Security benefits work, the easier it becomes to recognize the difference between a real problem and a simple misunderstanding. That's exactly why staying informed is one of the best ways to protect your retirement. If you found today's video helpful, I'd really appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Every week, we share clear, practical information about Social Security, Medicare, retirement benefits, and other important government updates that could affect your financial future. Our goal is to explain complicated topics in a way that's easy to understand, so you can make informed decisions with confidence. And if you know someone who depends on Social Security, consider sharing this video with them. It might answer a question they've been worrying about or help them avoid unnecessary stress. Thank you for spending part of your day with me. I truly appreciate your time and your trust. Take care of yourself, take care of the people you love, and I'll see you in the next video.